A beautiful day for soccer here in the nation's capital as we welcome you in on a Sunday morning to the GW Mount Vernon campus as the Arlington women get set to take on Arlington's U21 side. Ben Curtis here with you. So glad you've chosen to spend part of your Sunday morning with us bright and early for some soccer here in the nation's capital, and a happy Father's Day to all who are celebrating. It'll be the Arlington U21 women in the red. They'll be attacking from right to left across your screen, while the Arlington women will be in the gray with the black shorts going from left to right. In goal for the U21s, Charlotte Kulisovsky, the Delaware Blue Hen. She'll be in the purple off towards the right side of your screen for the Arlington women. Starting in goal will be Phoebe Carver. She's on her way to her third stop in college this upcoming fall, going to Purdue after stops at Arkansas and the University of Southern California. Just about set to go here on a Sunday morning, warm day, temperatures in the high 80s towards 90 degrees, but not a cloud in the sky as we are just about set to go here at the GW soccer field, home of the A10's GW Revolutionaries. Handful of A10 players across this field will highlight as the day goes along, but we are underway between the U21 and the Arlington women. Opportunity to continue to tune things up for all of these players as the WPSL season rolls along before they head into their fall slates coming up in just a couple of months. Chance to keep things right, get new habits, try out new positions perhaps. Opportunity for both teams' coaches, Jenny Reamer and Rahul Chandri, to perhaps tinker with some things as the summer rolls along. Early possession for the U21s, but it's turned right back over to the Arlington women. Annie Ferrone, the Columbia Lion, operating that left side of the midfield for the Arlington women. Taken back away, though, by the U21s. Physicality is certainly going to be one of the focuses of this game, of course, with the senior team going up against the U21 younger side. Still has plenty of technical skill. Taken back away in the midfield by Irina Gonzalez for the senior women. Harvard product, who also has represented the Icelandic under-20 team. She's going to be one of the focal points in the center of the midfield for the Arlington women. Keep an eye on her, number 3 in the Arlington gray. We'll work back over for Ferrone. Gonzalez's Ivy League rival, of course, now teammates. That's one of the fun parts about the WPSL and all of these summer leagues operating, especially in an area like the Mid-Atlantic where there are so many schools up and down the East Coast. Your teammates become rivals. Your rivals become your teammates. As that one slid up ahead, the offside flag goes up. It was in the direction of Evelyn Javers, Ferrone's teammate at Columbia. But the flag was up for offside from the assistant referee, so it wouldn't have counted anyways. An opportunity early on for Charlotte Kulikowski to touch the ball, the keeper for the U21 side. Currently a backup at Delaware. Did not get an opportunity to play for the Blue Hens last year, who had a big change overall as a program, moving from the CAA into Conference USA. Of course, that a largely football-driven move, but the Blue Hens as an entire program transitioning. The CAA's loss, CUSA's gain. Back in possession are the Arlington women, keeping it moving over towards the left side where there's acres of space to operate for Evelyn Casadabin. Georgetown Hoya product will whip it into the box, and Kulikowski is happy to watch that go off the side netting. Easy enough trip for Evelyn Casadabin just from down the road where Georgetown plays their home games at Shaw Field, only about 2 or 3 miles from where we sit at GW Soccer Field. GW Georgetown, one of the closest rivals anywhere, not only in the East Coast, but in college soccer in general. Former Virginia State champion was Casadabin back in her high school days before suiting up for the blue and gray of the Hoyas. Going into now her senior season with Georgetown, who of course one of the top teams in the Big East and stalwarts in the NCAA tournament just about year in and year out. Switches on for the Arlington senior women. Cassie Dolinsky asking for the ball on the right side. Instead, it's played more direct for Ferrone. Ferrone will take the space that she's granted in front of her. Now the through ball wasn't able to link up with Javers. Good step up from the U21 back line. That was Allie Griswold, who is on her way to play for the University of Southern California in the fall. Part of, according to Top Drawer Soccer at the very least, the #1 recruiting class in the nation for the Trojans, who are of course operating in the Big Ten now. All of the conference realignment that has gone on in the last handful of years. But Griswold, one of the top products in the Mid-Atlantic, will be fighting on for the Trojans coming up in the fall. All eyes will be on that USC team to get the Big Ten a little bit back into the swing of things in women's college soccer. It's been taken over by teams from either coast. And of course, USC's former conference rival, Stanford. Clipped ahead, it's headed along by Andy Popolo from Division III Amherst. Was unable to settle it down cleanly, though. It'll fall towards the center of the park. Maya Weiss, also from Georgetown, trying to keep things alive. Back and forth we go here in the early 5 minutes. No real clear-cut chances for either side. Neither team has attempted a shot on target so far. It's been a cagey opening affair to this one. Both teams just kind of feeling each other out. Of course, won't be a ton of secrets. Both of these teams part of the same program. But asking for the ball along the left side, was Weiss unable to take it instead. The offside flag will go up. That was Jackie Shore's Bowdoin College product, who had a little bit of room to operate along the left side if the U21s could have found her. It'll be an early touch for Phoebe Carver to be able to clear her lines. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, in case you're just tuning in, Carver on her way to West Lafayette, Indiana to play for the Boilermakers of Purdue. Got 14 starts with Arkansas in the SEC, one of the toughest conferences in college soccer on the women's side. Then moved over to Southern California. Now will be heading back towards the middle of the country to play for Purdue. Through ball again through the center. Now some room to operate in the center of the park. That was Gonzalez, who again, as soon as she touches the ball in the midfield, there's two red shirts of the U21s collapsing in on her. They recognize the quality that the Icelandic U20 international has. Dangerous pass, though. It's going to be cut off towards the right side, nearly there by Olivia Stafford, the Vanderbilt Commodore. Stafford still fighting for it, but it did go over the end line. Perhaps some confusion about which of these lines we are playing with. The white lines that you see are the soccer lines. The yellow or gold lines on the field are the women's lacrosse lines that are also used here at the GW Soccer and Lacrosse Field, depending on whether it's fall or spring. But that, of course, could change with the upcoming switch to a two-semester model in college soccer coming up in a couple of seasons. Now taking the space along the right side again. The target is Stafford, and again, it's just out of her reach. Olivia Stafford for Vanderbilt, one of another top teams in the SEC. Saw action in all 24 matches a season ago for the Commodores, and as part of the SEC all-freshman team last year. Big sophomore season loading for Olivia Stafford and for the Commodores as a whole. Keep an eye on her along that right wing. She will certainly be very dangerous. Arlington women starting to generate a little bit more possession here and starting to ask a few more questions of the under 21 side. 7.5 minutes gone by, still no score. Still no real scoring opportunities. Again, Stafford is asking for the ball. This time it's deflected before it gets there, but it will fall on the second opportunity to Cassie Dolinsky. Here's the Hoya sliding things along for Gonzalez. Gonzalez stayed on side, squares it, and it's an own goal. The Arlington women strike first, as I think it went last off of Pau Monter, the Amherst defender. And just like that, it's 1-0 to the Arlington women. It was all started by Gonzalez, who had that delightful diagonal run from left to right to open things up and then squared the ball just about towards that 6-yard box, and it took a nasty deflection off of the U21 defender. It was Monter. And so Arlington women striking first, leading 1-0 here. About 9 minutes gone by at the GW Soccer Field. And now how does this U21 side respond with the game perhaps opening up a little bit after the opening goal? High press put on by this Arlington women's side. So it goes all the way back for Kulikowski, who had absolutely nothing she could have done about that opening goal. Defender was in position and just had the worst possible angle to deflect off of her. Monter will clear things away. It'll be a throw, but that high press for the Arlington women continuing to pay dividends. Dolinsky. Back for Sam Weiner, the University of Maryland defender. Be operating in that right back position for the Arlington women today. Ferrone, clever little 1-2. Now trying her luck from distance is Amelia Diagnolo, the captain of this Arlington women team. That was gobbled up easily enough by Kulikowski. Diagnolo playing for Virginia Tech's club team, but one of the leaders of this team, along with her vice captain, Kylie Emanuel. The Penn Quaker, who is in the starting lineup today, but we haven't called her name too much. Number 36 in the gray. Now an opportunity for the U21s. Bella Johnson, on her way to Virginia next year, was on the intended receiving end of that one. And now Gonzalez in a foot race. Irene Gonzalez looking to win that foot race. That's excellent defending, though. Last-ditch defending, too, at that by the U21s, but they were able to sweep it clear of the immediate danger. That high press still continuing to cause fits for this U21 side. Allie Griswold did that piece of defensive work at that right back position to hold off Gonzalez. looking very comfortable against senior opposition here. Figure that she will early on have a chance to play a big factor for Southern California next season. All the way back it will go for Carver. Carver directing traffic. And now Weiner, who was originally set up in that right back position, has looked to move more centrally, but that's a loose pass in the back. It was cleaned up though. And the Arlington women can continue to stride forward. Ferrone with her head up, crossing it in towards the box. Cleared away from, again, the immediate danger. That's Gabby Davis. Plays her soccer for the Citadel, and now the break could be on the other way for the U21s, but it's unable to link up with Jackie Shores that time. Shores continues to be the target along that left flank for the U21s. They just haven't had the quality of service to be able to find her just yet. There has been a little bit of space there for Shores along the left side every now and again. Now a little bit more press put on by the U21s. There's 4 or 5 in the press instead of 1 or 2 in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. But that will leave room in behind, and the Arlington women striding forward. Gonzalez, clever little chip for the 1-2. Still could be there for the Arlington women. It's laid off, and the shot goes just wide. That was Gonzalez who had the chance after Evelyn Javers put it on a plate for her. I think they'll bring it back for a foul spotted earlier on. Well, they actually say it took a deflection off of a U21 player. They will say that, so it'll be a corner kick first of the day for the Arlington women. Just about everybody will be in and around the box for Arlington. This Gonzalez will be the one to size this one up. Nobody along either post for the Arlington women. Everyone will be making the runs in. It goes right towards the 6-yard box, dangerous area. Javers merely got a touch to it, and then it was high and wide, always rising off the boot of Cassie Dolinsky. And that ball was put in a dangerous position and begging for Javers to get the finishing touch. She nearly did. Just could not quite get the body angle right to be able to get the power on that necessary. And Javers from a sharp angle on a ball that was kind of rising onto her thigh never really had a chance at it. The first corner of the day seen out by the U21s. A free kick will go away the U21s as well, as was won that time by Emily Inman on her way to play for Navy next season. This will give the U21s a chance to get some more numbers flooding forward. Gabby Davis whipping it into a dangerous area. First header won by the Arlington women. Second opportunity, flags up for offside. And it wouldn't have counted anyways. Didn't get the purchase on it necessary anyways. Melanie DeCaro of Emory. But the flag was up regardless, as she had strayed into an offside position. DeCaro on her way to play for Emory at the Division III level next season after wrapping up a very successful high school career. And now again the press for the U21s, and this time they're able to take it back away. Shores asking for it along the left side, instead taking it herself and unable to get it past the deflection that time. Arlington U21s again putting that press on and nearly able to capitalize on it and level the score. Nearly 15 minutes gone by. It's 1-0 to the Arlington women after an own goal. But the chance coming that time off the foot of Emily Inman. She had Shores available off to her left, but couldn't really fault her for taking that chance herself. And now a chance for the Arlington women to respond. Arlington continuing to flood more numbers into that attacking third. Space open along the right side. That is where Olivia Stafford is set up. Stafford going to take on her defender. Cut towards the end line. That did go over the end line. I think that's a couple of times now that Stafford has been confused about which line is the end line. And the gold, which she, I think, perhaps thought was going to be the end line, is, of course, the markings of her college home field at Vanderbilt. Some old habits to have to shake for Olivia Stafford. She just ran out of real estate there. 15 minutes gone by, still Arlington with a 1-0 lead. It was not the best of clearances from Kulikovsky, and it's taken back away, at least initially, by Arlington. The U21s able to pitch it a little bit further up the field. Another throw here for Arlington as they have put the gas pedal a little bit further down after a cagey first 5 minutes. Arlington's had the better of play. U21s have had their moments. Not the best of clearances either, far too central, and it's one back cleanly, says the referee. Opportunity now for Ferrone, who has a shot parried away by Kulikowski. Rebound is still available there for Gonzalez, and it's swept away from the immediate danger. Don't know how much Kulikowski saw of that until very late, and now the break could be on the other way for the U21s. Staying onside, at least initially, was Bella Johnson, and now Johnson still striding forward. Johnson trying to take two defenders on herself. Will lay it off instead. Pulling it back out is Inman. Now opportunity for Shores on the left, and she just couldn't get it under her feet. Shores had some room to work along that left side and was just unable to keep that play alive. So again, the U21s finding opportunities on the break. Once Arlington strides more and more numbers forward, the U21s will have some space in behind. And still with lots of soccer left to be played here in this game, you'd imagine Arlington U21s will be pretty happy with that game plan. Sit back, invite Arlington to have the ball, and then counter. A second Arlington goal could change all that, though. Could force the U21s to be a little bit more in possession than perhaps they would like. As Gonzalez is dispossessed. All the way back for Kulikowski, who's made a couple of smart saves so far. Showing a penchant for punching the ball away rather than catching it, just living to fight another play, Kulikowski. Pressure again being put on by this Arlington press. It seems to be a philosophical thought for both Arlington and the under-21s to high press, to force defenders into having to make decisions quicker than they would like. Fight is on for the ball in the midfield, won by the under-21s. Room centrally now to turn. Again, Shores asking for the ball along the left. It's a bit behind her, and she lost her footing. Shores sticking with it, though. Jackie Shores will smartly play it off of the defender as Dolinsky quickly closed the space. Now asking for a run to be made out of Emily Inman down the left side. Inman squaring it towards the back post. It's over the head of the intended target. And Melanie DeCaro. It's still alive, though, along the far side for Johnson, and Johnson will only be able to win a throw-in. It's a good heads-up play, though, by Johnson. Just about everyone gave up on the play. Bella Johnson kept on running, knowing that that ball was going to stay in play. Now room in the center. Molly Kinsella. Oh, she had an opportunity along the left side. Now taking the space and firing the shot towards the top corner was Andy Popolo. Amherst Mammoth trying to pick out that upper corner. She wasn't that far off. Didn't force a save out of Phoebe Carver, though, who was happy to watch it sail up and over the bar. So it'll be a goal kick for Arlington that will allow the U21s to continue to put that high press on. There are 8 under-21 players on the attacking side of midfield. When Arlington gets set up for their goal kicks, they're really trying to put the screws to this Arlington side. And they force a long clip up ahead with no runners to go after it. It'll be a goal kick now for the U21s, and you'd imagine now Arlington will do the inverse of that, and they too will try to put some numbers forward to put a press on this U21 defense. Nearly 20 minutes gone by. Still the only goal coming as an own goal off the leg of Palmonter. She was trying to defend a great cross put in by Irina Gonzalez. Good step up by Arlington to again win it right back. Fighting for any sort of room she has is Stafford, and her only option right now is backward. Good work by the U21s to force Stafford back, but now there's some room to operate in a little pocket of space for Ferrone. Ferrone will try to clip it up ahead for Javers. First there was Kulikowski. Evelyn Javers continuing to make those clever runs in between the lines of the U21 side, but that time it was just overcooked and Kulikowski was able to collect. Battle for it in the midfield, won back again by Arlington. Now room to switch along the right side if it can be found. They will go long for Stafford along the right flank, who was able to keep herself onside, and she's able to keep the ball under her feet. Stafford will again take on her defender towards the end line. Stafford cutting it right back, and it's in the back of the net. It was able to be scrambled across the line. There were 3 or 4 players all in the mix there for Arlington, but it was all the work of Olivia Stafford along the right flank to create that goal, and it's 2-0 Arlington. More substitutions on their way now for both teams as the goal scorer for Arlington will come off the field. That was Maya Weiss, the Georgetown Hoya, I think, who got the final touch on it. Kylie Emanuel, the vice captain who plays for Penn in the Ivy League, was in the area as well. But regardless, really, you have to credit Stafford for making things happen along that right flank. The switch was certainly on there for Arlington. And once Stafford had her defender one-on-one, clever footwork to get to the end line. She's been trying to get to the end line and cut it back for that dangerous ball across the 6-yard box all game long. And this time she was able to keep her feet right, get the angle right. And just like that, it's 2-0 to Arlington. And now, as we said, that will have to force the U21s to try to throw a little bit more forward in the attack. Looking for an immediate response of the U21s. There's room to operate along the left side for Kate Leland. And now Shores. Shores onto her right foot will curl it into the box, and always there first would be Phoebe Carver. Carver hasn't had too much to do in the way of saves so far today. But she has been aggressive off of her line and has commanded the defense of Arlington very well so far. Low along the ground now in the direction of Emily Burke off the bench for Arlington, Washington and Lee product. Sam Weiner all the way back for the keeper, Carver. Again, 4 or 5 U21 players trying to put the press on. But with that 2-0 lead now intact, halfway point of this first half, Arlington can play the game at their tempo. Be interesting to see the next 5 to 10 minute spell how much the U21s try to flood more numbers forward, knowing, look, we still have 3/4 of this game left to be played, and now they'll have an opportunity to get some more numbers forward. Here's Bella Johnson. Johnson taking all of the space, will square it along for Shores. The flag's up for offside anyways. Oh, Shores was arriving towards that back post. I think that was initially meant as a shot from Johnson, but she scuffed it. And Shores was nearly there for the second ball, but she was already in an offside position. Again, that's better pockets of space for the U21s, though. Bella Johnson and Emily Inman have been the two who have been making things happen largely for the team in red. Here's Delinsky with Shores on her. That's a lovely pass in towards the center, and he'll have to go all the way back in the direction of Weiner. With Alden Marin, the newest player onto the field for the U21s, putting the pressure on. Now the shot will come on in from distance. Valentina Barrera from Cleveland State, again fresh onto the field. Testing Phoebe Carver. But again, there's more opportunities now for the U21s to get players in the box, test Phoebe Carver, have shots on target. But as the U21s continue to do that, that will mean, again, there's more space in behind for Arlington to exploit. Switch was on. It was low along the ground, and we'll work back in the end back to the Arlington women. That's Delinsky. It's been pulling the strings in the center of the park for the team in gray all day. Now clipped in towards the box and never got all the way through to its intended target. I think was Maddie Hurwitz, the American University Eagle, who has come on into the game. Again, not far at all from where she plays her college soccer either, just up the road in Tenleytown. Throw in here for the U21s. Both teams making those substitutions after the second goal of the day that made it 2-0. Again, it was Stafford that was really able to create everything, and then I think it was Weiss that got the final touch on it for Arlington. And now, again, the U21s striding forward. Again, it's Shores presenting as the option along the left. Leland able to find her. Kate Leland has shouts of man on come, and that was taken back away by Horowitz. Horowitz was just lurking in the center of the park waiting for a loose touch from Leland, and she got it. And now room along the left to operate for Arlington. Caroline Clowder from Carnegie Mellon ran into a pair of U21 defenders, and this game really starting to open up now. Room to either flank. It slid along that right side. It'll be out of the reach of Barrera. But both teams' back lines starting to be stretched a little bit as this game opens up towards the tail end of this first half. Get the sense that the next goal will be absolutely massive. If it's a U21 goal, it's game on. An Arlington goal, especially here in the first half, could be game over. But Shores with an opportunity. Back onto her right foot. Shores had the shot deflected. And Carver didn't have much to do in the end. Jackie Shores, though, continuing to buzz in and around the edge of the 18-yard box, and perhaps just one too many touches that time until she was able to get it out of her feet. Still more and more questions being asked by the U21s of that back line. That's a loose pass in the back that Johnson's going to be able to pick up. Johnson's got reinforcements ahead of her. Going to take her defender on one-on-one, though. Johnson onto her left foot, gets round Carver, still on her feet, and last-ditch defending to clear it away. Johnson trying to stay on her feet, and it will be just a goal kick. Massive opportunity for Bella Johnson and the U21s to get a foothold back in the game. But it goes a begging, and it stays 2-0. 18 minutes to go here in the first half. More substitutions going to be made for the under-21s. Kate Leland is, I believe, going to be the player replaced, and we are going to step on into a hydration break with temperatures very warm here in Washington, D.C. So we will briefly step aside. Arlington lead the under-21s of Arlington Soccer 2-0 here with 17 minutes and change to go in the first half. On our way to the second 45 between Arlington and the Arlington under-21s. It's 2-0 in favor of the senior team. Ben Curtis here with you as we get set for the second half here on sunny, warm day in the nation's capital. Temperature well into the 80s. Humidity not slowing down anytime soon either, and very few clouds in the sky have led to a very sunny morning here in the nation's capital. It is the Arlington women in the gray, and it is the Arlington under-21s in the red, with the U21s going from left to right and Arlington going from right to left in the second half. The two goals for Arlington, a Pau Monter own goal and a Maya Weiss goal set up by Olivia Stafford. As the hosts with an opportunity, or rather the senior team I should say, with an opportunity to close things out and generate some momentum before heading back into the thick of their WPSL slate. Just waiting for the referee's whistle to get back underway. And off we go with the second 45 between the Arlington women and the under-21s. As Arlington will start out in possession. Next up for Arlington, they'll take on the St. James right back here at GW Soccer Field on Thursday, where they head to play District Elite FC back in WPSL slate, getting towards the tail end of the month of June. So far, 4 wins and a loss for Arlington, with a chance to continue to tune up before heading back into 2 very important matches in the tail end of the month of June. Chance for Arlington here early on in the second half. It was blocked before ever getting to the goal, which is I believe a change-in goal for the U21s. We'll try to confirm that, but I don't believe that's Charlotte Kulikowski at the moment who is in net. Get back to that in a second, though, as Jackie Shores striding forward for the U21s. Had the ball nicked off of her toe. It is Phoebe Carver who is still out there for Arlington. Fight is on for it in the center of the park. Alden Marin, who is excellent off the bench for the U21s, winning it back, and then will draw a free kick and perhaps the first card of the day. It doesn't appear as though anything's going to be brandished, but it will be a free kick in a dangerous position now for the U21s. Again, more good work done by Alden Marin, the Richmond Spider. So it'll be one that Molly Kinsella, the Duquesne Duke, is able to size up. Kinsella had a tremendous year for the Dukes. Of course, in the same conference as GW, so she had a chance to play on this field. This one is right on goal, and Phoebe Carver asked to make the save. Kinsella with a good opportunity. And best save of the day so far from Phoebe Carver, pushing it over the bar. And Kinsella will go over to take the ensuing corner. Be an in-swinger for the under-21s. 7 in and around the box for the team in red. It's right on the 6-yard box. Heads go up. Ball is cleared only as far as Johnson, who spreads it back out wide for Kinsella. First time whipping it right back into the area. It's chested down to the edge of the 18. Shots fired away and just missed. Annie Populo from Amherst on the half volley, fizzing it past the right post. Phoebe Carver, and the first 3 minutes belonging entirely to the U21s. Kinsella forced a good save out of Carver, and then Populo had a golden opportunity on the half volley from the edge of the 18. She struck it cleanly. And Carver was very happy to see that one go wide of the post. But down 2-0, this U21 team continuing to fight. And if they're able to nick a goal here in the first 15 or 20 minutes of the second half, that could set up quite the finish. Bella Johnson picking the ball up, shouts for man on, so she tried to spread it out wide for Shores, and we'll get a whistle first and a card, the first of the day. So another opportunity, and you'd imagine this will be one that Kinsella might call for too, after her great opportunity only moments ago from a dead ball. There's a little bit more off-center this opportunity. So perhaps one for Kinsella to lay towards the back post for a runner instead of taking it herself. But she struck it well from a set piece only moments ago. Wall looks to be 3 players for Arlington. Phoebe Carver trying to set up the wall right now. And that wall is going to have to back up some. So Kinsella with the right foot. Will she go for goal herself or send it wide towards the back post? Kinsella going to go straight into the wall. She was going for goal. Now this time she'll clip it towards the back post, trying to catch up to it as Pau Monter, but she won't get there before it goes over the end line. Another chance for the U21s unable to be capitalized on. But again, team in red, the one buzzing in the first 5 minutes of the second half. They've come out of the halftime break very strong. So how does Arlington respond, building from the back? Three or 4 red jerseys collapsing on the ball wherever it goes. This back line for the U21s will take the space when it's granted to them as Griswold striding forward. Now trying to carry it is Dekaru. Will keep that one in play. Looking for any sort of option. She'll find one behind her in Monter. Low along the ground. That's a good ball towards the right side. Now it's whipped in towards the area. Clearance wasn't dealt with. It still could be alive for Marin, who was unable to get enough power on it past Carver. But again, that's the second save already Phoebe Carver's had to make in the first 5 minutes of the second half. The U21s continuing to be on the front foot. That was a lovely ball. Started out by Monter along the right side. And Marin just kind of hit it off of her side foot. Room along the left for Casadabin. Backwards she'll go. No, nothing has to be too urgent or too risky for Arlington right now. Seeing out this 2-0 lead, but still a lot of time left to go with the way that U21s have been going. Think back to that Bella Johnson chance when she was just about one-on-one with Phoebe Carver. Took one too many touches and it was cleared away. If that one winds up in the back of the net, could be a very different story here and a very different feeling around GW Soccer Field. This was just a little bit behind the intended target of DeCaro. It's operating along that right flank. All the space in the world for Emilio Diagnolo. She continues to take it until she gave it back away. Johnson didn't get there. She'll get there on the second chance. And then coughed it right back up. Olivia Stafford again along that right side, making things happen. Now Javers will settle things back down under her feet. Javers couldn't get past the second defender, and now Marin with her back to goal has 3 gray jerseys all around her. Marin still with the strength to clip it up ahead for Dekaru, who's going to catch up to this one first. She's got Shores in support along the left side. Dekaru to the end line, and she'll win a corner. Melanie Dekaru with only 1 attacker for support on the back post, and Jackie Shores was able to win the corner instead. So the U21s will be able to set things up. This will be an outswinger, and it goes right towards the 6-yard box. There for a free header was Mounter, but she was just unable to catch up to it as it was just over her head, and now a chance for Arlington to break the other way. And it's a little bit behind Stafford. She's able to still win it, but has to go backward. U21's getting numbers back behind the ball, but that's a lovely ball up ahead. Now a chance and a save made by Kulikovsky. That was Emmanuel with the opportunity. She did really well to set things up on her right foot. And Kulikovsky got down to her right to make a smart save. Really good chance for the Penn Quaker, who has been in and around that attacking area quite a bit. Oh, Javers was trying to turn again. Now here is Emmanuel one more time. Clever switch from left to right. Javers showing for the ball along the end line. That's excellent defending, though, and it absolutely had to be, too, from Kate Leland. Mistimed foot, and it's an Arlington penalty. Instead, the U21s with a chance to break. Lovely ball for Johnson, who can run on into it. And now DeCaro spread out wide towards the right side. There's nobody there in a gray jersey around her. As she catches up to it, we'll have a chance to size things up. Laying it back instead for Kinsella. Kinsella had two gray jerseys quickly around her as Emmanuel tracked back to do the defensive dirty work. Clipping it up ahead for Javers to run onto. Getting just a toe to it was Gabby Davis. Anywhere will do from a keeper's perspective there. It was actually kept alive by the U21s. Now DeCaro, heavy touch again in the center of the park, but using her body well to shield off the defender. Long run going to be asked for now for Marin, and Carver did well to navigate her box and clean things up. 10 minutes gone by here in the second half. Still 2-0 in favor of Arlington, but U21s have been the better of the two sides after the interval. Not on the same page. That time was Arlington, and it's easy enough for Kulikovsky. Early substitutions here in the second half going to be made by the U21s as well. Jackie Shores and Molly Kinsella will be the two replaced. Kinsella had a really good look off of a set piece. Forced a really nice save out of Carver. We see Gillen will come back into the game. American Eagle commit had some good opportunities, especially off of set pieces and corners in that first half. U21s will look for more of the same here in the second. But it's Arlington who takes it back away. Slid along for Javers. That was just out of her reach. Long stride for Javers to try to get to that one first. And it was just beyond her toe. DeCaro goes to ground and wins the free kick for the U21, so they'll be able to, again, get some more numbers forward. Arlington's been able to do a good enough job of limiting transition. Only a couple of opportunities for Bella Johnson to navigate the center of the park, going from back to front. Arlington has kept some numbers back behind the ball. Monter going to whip one in. It takes one bounce in the box, and then Carver there to collect. And now Arlington trying to go in a hurry. Casadabin not wasting any sort of time, but just misjudged her pass in the direction of Arena Gonzalez. A run out for an Arlington throw. There'll be some changes made by Arlington here in just a moment, and quite a few of them. Looks like Cassie Dolinsky going to come out of the game. So too will Arena Gonzalez and Evelyn Casadabin. Maya Weiss going to be replaced as well. So 4 changes coming up here for Arlington to try to give this U21 side a different look. Looks like Evelyn Javers is coming out of the game too. Kind of a hockey line change for Arlington here. The U21s have been the better of the two sides nearly 15 minutes into this second half, looking to change something up. Casadabin actually will stay in the game. I'm just going over to receive some instructions, it appeared, from the coach as to how to deal with this new setup. Maddie Hurwitz is one of the Arlington players fresh into the game. Diagnolo off towards the right flank. Staying onside was Emily Burke, who is among the newcomers just into the game. Burke played some in the first half and had a couple of opportunities both along the right side and floating a little bit more centrally into a number 9 role. Ball took just one too many bounces for the play movement for Arlington. It'll stay with Arlington, though, here in Mara Grace. Now Burke asked to run onto this one in a foot race at the moment with Gabby Davis, and Davis did well enough to get there first and just knock it out for a throw. We've played just about an hour here on the western tip of our nation's capital. On a very happy Father's Day to you all. It is still 2-0 in favor of Arlington, who have themselves a corner. Maddie Hurwitz presenting a short option is Olivia Stafford, and instead Hurwitz is going to take this one as per usual. It's right along the 6-yard box. Heads go up. Nobody got to the initial touch. Arlington is first to the second ball. Back for Casadabin. We'll clip it towards the penalty area. Header isn't really fully cleared. It could fall here, and it just didn't really get the purchase for Amelia Diagnolo. The team captain had it fall to her very kindly, and she just never really hit it cleanly. It's easy enough for Kulikowski. Now Marin trying to run onto this. Carver hoping it bounces into her box. The wind certainly aiding that as well. The wind is starting to play a little bit of a factor. It's very much at the backs of the U21s. It's a little bit more whip on it than there was back in the first half. So theoretically that would help the U21s, but it also means all those long balls over the top they may have to take something a little bit more off of. Last it run into the box for Phoebe Carver to collect. Populo still striding down the left side. What a run from Populo, now into the box. Populo never was able to find a teammate, and Carver grateful to collect along the near post. It's been the story of the game so far for the U21s. They've had moments of brilliance, both individual and collective, but the final piece of the puzzle just hasn't been there enough for this young side. Into the game for the U21s as well, by the way, Michaela Edmonds was also part of the picture in the first half. Cloud cover starting to descend on DC a little bit more. That will make things a little bit more palatable for the players on the field as the sun shaded just a bit. Populo going to come out of the game now for the U21s. Being replaced by Sydney DeLacy. Now here's Barrera. 1-2 along the left side, entering the box and still unable to really fully clear it away is Arlington. Now it is swept away and Burke can run onto it. Getting there first was Gabby Davis. Burke again the intended target of the throw, putting the pressure on Davis. We'll send it all the way back for the keeper. That press though continuing to trouble this U21 side. Emmanuel. Just a little too much on that to slide it to Burke and not enough to really trouble Kulikowski. A couple of times Emmanuel has put the ball in a really good position. There just haven't been enough runners, or she has been caught in between two minds just a bit. You see certainly what's there for Kylie Emmanuel for this Arlington team. Now picking things up forward is the U21s along the right side. That's a lovely ball for Edmonds to catch up to if she can. She got just a toe to it, but was unable to get there quickly enough to angle herself and put it back in play across the face of goal. So 18 minutes gone here in the second half, and we are still at the status quo from the interval. 2-0 in favor of Arlington. Still with just one loss on the season against their 4 wins, looking to continue the momentum against their U21 side. Before St. James and District Elite lurk on the other side of the weekend. Davis was trying to get that out for a throw but she sliced her clearance, and it will be a corner kick, I should say, for Arlington, and Maddie Hurwitz will be able to take it. Arlington not going to flood as many numbers forward for these set pieces. There were chances for the U21s on these Arlington set pieces for their opponents to hit them on the counter. So still 3 or 4 gray shirts staying back. An opportunity all the same on an outswinger that's put right towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Heads go up. It's still there for the taking for either side, and it will go out for another corner. Olivia Stafford was there in the area trying to stab it home. And instead it will be another corner. And Emmanuel will take it. Short option presented, and short option will be taken, but the referee hadn't whistled play on yet. So Stafford was trying to present as that short option, but now Emmanuel will be able to size up another in-swinger. This time she'll go short again for Casadabin. Popped up on her foot just a bit. Emmanuel right back as the option, though, got herself back on side. Left-footed cross is claimed at a collision with the keeper. It will be a foul and a free kick for Arlington's U21 side. Long run now going to be asked out of Edmonds, who does get their first. Lovely move to get around a defender. Edmonds squaring it to the back post. Saved by Carver. Rebound is scored. Emily Inman cuts the deficit in half, and it's 2-1 Arlington. What a move by Edmonds to start things off, though. And then the unselfishness to find Inman arriving on the back post. Carver did all she could, got a hand to the initial shot, but the rebound fell kindly right back to Emily Inman. And just like that, it's 2-1, and it's game on with 24 minutes left to go. So how will that affect things here down the stretch? What a move that was from a substitute, Michaela Edmonds. And a substitute that will now make Jenny Reimer look very astute. So 2-1 now in favor of Arlington, with the U21's pressure finally paying off. Edmonds in a little bit of space along the right side. Phenomenal move to get round the defender. And then picking her head up and recognizing that the better option wasn't to go for the goal herself, but to find Inman, who still had plenty to do as Carver slid over. And now a chance again for the U21s to break. Inman, the goal scorer, just getting there second, as Diagnolo knocked the ball out for a throw. But it's the U21s asking all the questions and putting all the pressure. Inman trying to head it along for herself. Diagnolo's clearance goes straight up in the air. Now it's hooked clear only as far as the edge of the attacking third. It's whipped back into the area. Edmonds fighting for it. It trickles into a little bit of open space, and Edmonds is going to get there first. She goes backwards in the direction of Monter, who is able to square things, and now an opportunity from distance. Carver got 2 hands to it. That was Gillen trying her luck from distance. It was a save from Carver on the goal from Inman that won't catch any of the headlines because the Navy commit was right there to put it back home, but it was a phenomenal save from Carver. Getting across her goal to get 2 hands to it, but it just popped right back to Inman. And she was not going to miss from that short range twice. What can Arlington do to restore the 2-goal cushion now? Hurwitz striding forward, now has to go back. It's U21 side repelling a Arlington attack after Arlington attack in the first half. Was able to find their moments on the counter, and now here in the second has been the team in red that has been the aggressors on the front foot. Emmanuel getting around her first defender. Kylie Emmanuel couldn't get past the second block. Will fall right back to Hurwitz. Couldn't get the ball out of her feet quickly enough. Inman chasing after this. Inman using the speed, and Diagnolo had to find a second gear. Diagnolo was jogging back to the ball until she heard the footsteps. And Inman continuing to buzz along that left side, causing all sorts of problems. That partnership up top with Edmonds has been really dynamic here in the second half. Arlington U21s perhaps stumbling onto something here off the bench. Emmanuel with her head up has the overlap with Casadabin off to her left. Tried to find her, was interrupted by Monter. Casadabin got just a touch to it. And Monter able to settle things back down under her feet. Barrera trying to keep the play alive, and does as it's sprayed out wide towards the left. Barrera asking for it in the center of the park. She'll get it. Try to turn back over towards the right. Edmonds not going to get there, though, as Casadabin was right in the passing lane. Good step up, though, again by DeLacy. He's trying to go over the top. In the direction of Marin. Marin, Edmonds, Inman all in the game right now for the U21s, as well as in the center of the park, Gillen, who has tried her luck from distance before. She'll have another shot that goes right at Phoebe Carver. That's 2 on goal from distance in the last 5 minutes or so from Lucia Gillen. Neither have been all that dangerous for Phoebe Carver to have to stop, but still asking the questions of the keeper all the same. Emmanuel, the player making the run. Emmanuel just offside as the flag goes up. She doesn't know it yet. Neither does a defender. And now the flag will go up, and it'll be a free kick for the U21s. It's a clever diagonal run for Emmanuel, but she's just started that run a little bit beyond the last defender. And that will send us to our hydration break. 19 minutes plus left on the clock here in the second half, and Emily Inman's goal has set up a great finish. 2-1 Arlington as we break for some water. "19 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock here at GW Soccer Field. Ben Curtis here with you from the Washington, D.C. as Arlington and the Arlington under-21s battling out to a very good game. 2-1 in favor of Arlington, but it's been the U21s the better of the team in the second half. And Emily Inman's goal early on in the second half, about midway through, has set up a really nice finish to this one. U21s in red, continuing to be the team asking all the questions. Phoebe Carver and Arlington, who've been among the better sides in this WPSL Mid-Atlantic region. It's the team within their program, the under-21s, that have been putting them to the sword here in the second half. That's spread out wide again to the left side. Alden Marin asking to get there first and asking for a corner and won't get one. It will be a goal kick for Arlington with under 19 minutes left to go. Right now, the clock very much on the side of the team in gray as more changes for the U21s. Palmonter going to come out of the game after she conceded the own goal. She's had a very good contest. Has atoned for it and then some. Good step up from Griswold back into the game, and now we'll set up a break the other way for the U21s. The shot from distance is right there into the gloves of Phoebe Carver. That was Inman looking for a brace. Casadabin directing traffic, clipping one a little bit too far on the left flank in the direction of Javers. So again, the U21s backed up a bit. Territory and time, very much the focus of Arlington right now. A third goal would be nice to put things just about away. But have to be smart with the ball above everything else. Gonzalez out wide. Lovely footwork to keep things with Arlington from Sasha Beasley. Wisconsin Badger looking for her next option. Hurwitz. Played around the back line for Arlington. Again, no need to be rash here if you're the team in gray. Disciplined build up right now for Rahul Chaudhry's team. Along the edge of the 18, the shot was deflected. It could still be there for Burke, but she didn't get there first. Horowitz will be the player to whom it falls. Now Weiss and Casadabin. One Georgetown Hoya to another. The cross clipped in, swept away by the U21s. Races on to get to the second ball, and it will be Beasley who gets there first without any trouble. Trying to play it ahead for Gonzalez. Gonzalez going to get there and lose her defender. Gonzalez will win just the corner. Half-hearted handball shouts. But it will be a corner all the same. Out-swinging corner coming in here. It's right along the 6-yard box. It was not initially cleared, trying to be swept in, and it is. Emily Burke of Washington and Lee firing it home, and that could just about be that with 15 minutes left to go. Emily Burke, who has been excellent all game, had the ball fall to her after it was not decisively cleared by the U21 defense, and she had a gaping net to fire it into. As Burke's third restores the 2-goal lead for Arlington. It was the U21s who had the momentum in the second half after cutting it back down to 2-1, but a set-piece mistake defensively by the U21s comes back to hurt them. That's really been the story of the day. U21s have had more than their fair share of good opportunities, including from this player here, Bella Johnson, who's looking to respond immediately. But the U21s haven't taken their chances, and Arlington has. That shot was always rising off the foot of Annie Populo. That is not an uncommon story between teams with more experience versus less experience. The U21s have shown the technical ability, they've shown the tactical ability to create good opportunities, but it's just that final bit of composure to put the ball in the back of the net. Now, with the exception of Inman's goal, they've been lacking today, and even you think back to Inman's goal, the first chance, and a really good one at that, was saved by Carver and had to be a rebound for Inman to put the ball into a wide open net. The finishing ability for Arlington has been clinical, and that's been the difference. The throw in here for the U21s, who still have an opportunity if they can score in the next few minutes to get right back into it. But they can ill afford to waste too many more opportunities. Kinsella couldn't get there, and she turns the ball back over, and now a chance for Javers to run, but a good step up from Davis to knock the ball out for just an Arlington throw. Encouraging signs for both sides, you'd say. Arlington was the better of the teams in the first half, had a couple of very well-worked goals, including their own goal, which was excellently worked initially by Stafford and just happened to come last off of Monter, but was going to be a great opportunity all the same. And then the goal from Weiss, again, worked by Stafford and just kind of scrambled home, bundled home by 2 or 3 gray jerseys who had got themselves in really good positions. And a couple of more really good chances in the first half, saw out the U21 opportunities in the second half. And they were able to get the third from a set piece. But still a little bit of work to do for this U21 side. On the defensive end of things, at least, before they try to go find a second goal. Back onto her left foot, an opportunity at least initially coming. It appeared for Ferrone. Could still fall here for Hurwitz, and her strike is bouncing on goal. Everybody going to have to start to push up pretty soon for the U21s. In search of a second goal, Edmonds didn't get there initially. Casadabin will just knock it off of her. That's very smart from Casadabin. Georgetown Hoya with some heads-up play. And a foul spotted in the midfield against the U21s will allow Hurwitz to go forward. Hurwitz sliding it along the left for Burke, the most recent of the goal scorers. Knocked off of her foot, though. Edmonds clipping it up ahead. And it could run on here for Inman. Inman using all the speed. Inman all alone on goal versus Carver, saved by Carver. Chance for the rebound right back for Johnson, who fires it wide. And it will be just a goal kick, and that in and of itself, a microcosm of the chances for the U21s today. A really well-worked pass to send Emily Inman all alone on goal. Phoebe Carver has been phenomenal today, making another smart save going down to her right, and then Bella Johnson tried to hit it on the half volley, struck it pretty cleanly, but just spun it wide of the post and perhaps a little bit high as well. That could be another chance that the U21s look back on as one that they'll rue. But perhaps as well a warning sign to Arlington that this game not just wrapped up yet, that the U21s aren't quite finished yet. It went last off of the U21's Griswold. It will be Arlington throw, and they won't be in any sort of rush on any of these restarts. Ball bouncing, and now an opportunity for Javers perhaps to really end it. Javers just wide. Maybe a little over the bar as well. Evelyn Javers from Columbia reading the bounce well and settling it under her feet. Could not quite hit the target. That is, by the way, no longer Kulikowski in net. It's Aaron Lockard, the Bridgewater Division III goalkeeper. Was unable to get that punch away to set up the third Burke goal. Hurwitz trying to fight for the ball right back. Still in contention, and a whistle and a free kick here for Arlington in a pretty dangerous position. About 25 or so yards away from goal. We'll see if this will be one that will be directed on net from Hurwitz, or if this is one set up towards the back post, where there are 3 or 4 gray jerseys getting set up to be runners. Maddie Hurwitz, the American Eagle, playing in the Patriot League come fall. Under 10 minutes left to go against the 3-player U21 wall. Hurwitz going to go for goal herself. It's always rising. And not one that is going to really trouble Lockard. Another change made by the U21s. It looks like Gagne is coming out of the game. And so too is Maddie Dolan. That's Pau Monter who is returning for the U21. So everything's still cycling through again, both in a game like this where as much as the final score, you're looking at performance and what you can learn about your team. And then also when you factor in the heat conditions, is going to make things a little bit more likely to cycle through the depth chart for both Jenny Reamer and Rahul Chandri. Into the final 9 minutes of this one in Arlington, looking for a fourth. It's Gonzalez, who was unable to get clean connection. Lockard fielding it cleanly. Lockard has made a couple of decent saves in the second half, but we'll look back on that third goal as one that she should have stopped from ever falling to Emily Burke in the first place. Kind of caught in between two minds of whether to come out and collect or not. And Burke was able to sweep it home. 2 red jerseys every time that Burke gets near the ball now. This one did go over the sideline. It will be a throw for Arlington and Casadabin. Casadabin going all the way back for Phoebe Carver, who you gotta say has been one of the players of the game for Arlington, especially in the second half. Some really, really critical saves. You think back to the free kick save against Kinsella, even the first save against Inman that still resulted in the goal. And then the save from Inman when she was off and running nearly all alone. That has preserved the lead for Arlington, really. Right back in towards the danger area from Sasha Beasley. Did not play last year for Wisconsin, the Walt Whitman High School product. Badgers going to open up the 2026 season with a really, really tough slate, by the way. TCU, BYU, Marquette. The first 3 out of the gate for the Badgers. All of them will be in Madison at home, but Wisconsin not going to be afraid to test themselves against top non-conference opposition early on. So Sasha Beasley's going to have to get right back to work when she's done with this Arlington team. Get back to Madison in a hurry and will be tested from the get-go. Anywhere will do that time from Kate Leland, with the pressure really being put on her. Was able to work it for just a throw, not a corner, I believe. But again, Arlington not in any sort of hurry with now 6 minutes left to go. They'll allow the clock continue to wind on down. U21s win it back, but they're a long way from where they need to be. Searching for 2 goals here late. That one did just run out of play as DeCaro is trying to keep it alive. More substitutions getting set to be made here by the U21s. Looking for a couple of late goals. It'll be Kinsella and Populo that will be replaced. So Kinsella's race is run. Really good second half performance from Molly Kinsella, especially on set piece opportunities. Had a couple of real peaches. First the shot on target, and then the ball floated to the back post, both of which I should say resulted in really, really good opportunities. Again, the press being put on as Shores fresh back into the game with some fresh legs. Trying to win the ball back in a dangerous position, but Arlington works their way back out of it. Now it's clipped up ahead. It was just tracking a little bit behind the Arlington attacker. That's Javers. Casadabin. Whipped in towards the back post. Keeper calls for it, and Lockard will collect. Can't afford to waste much of any time as Marin tried to settle it back down. Getting back, though, was Beasley to defend it well. Really good defensive work from Sasha Beasley, something that won't show up on a box score, but massive all the same with nobody in behind her. Now Javers Shoulder-to-shoulder contact. Referee allows play to continue. Now getting to the end line is Hurwitz, and she'll win her team a corner. Time continuing to tick off here with Arlington leading 3-1. They'll go short in the direction of Stafford. Stafford will whip one into a dangerous area. There was just a touch to it, and it's cleared off the line. Think that was Monter who was there on the back post. And she really had to be, because that Stafford ball had a lot of whip on it. And there was a gray shirt that got just a little touch to it to redirect the goal bound. Another great opportunity for Arlington to tack on one more. It'll be a whistle and a free kick as well, as a yellow card issued with just over 3 minutes left to go for Arlington, stopping a potential U21 attack. But the 2-goal deficit looks like it's going to be too much for the U21s to overcome here. Really valiant second half effort that this squad will take a lot from. And it could be an opportunity here for Decoru. Gonna try to hit it first time, and it's just over the bar. Oh, Melanie Decoru on the half volley. And they're gonna say that Carver got a hand to it, and if so, what a save that is from Phoebe Carver. They'll award a corner kick. What a save from Carver, my word. In swinger now. Only as far away as Monter, who will hit it on the half volley herself, and that one rising up and over the bar. Phoebe Carver has made some absolutely sensational saves. And as Decaru had a chance there on the half volley all alone and struck it really cleanly, that might have been among the best of the bunch to get just a fingertip to it, to push it up and over the bar and set up just a corner that the U21s can't do anything with. Has become the player of the game for Arlington. And now a chance for the team in gray to add one more. Hurwitz was running onto it, but U21's got numbers back enough to knock it out of play. Will be a corner. So we're into the final stages of the contest. Arlington looking to add perhaps just one more on here for good measure. U21's looking to have a little bit better defensive effort than they had the last time one of these corner kicks came in from this side of the field. It's whipped in towards the 6-yard box. That's a better claim, at least initially, from Lockard, but then she was unable to keep it under her spell. It is cleared away. Lockard had it and then fumbled it, but her teammate's there to pick her up. Referee checking his watches. The final stages of this game wind down to a close. Perhaps one more rush forward for Decaru and the U21s. It slid in well in the direction of Inman. It was just beyond her reach. It's cleared away. All eyes on the referee as the throw-in will be awarded. And Decaru couldn't keep it away. And that is the final whistle. Arlington with 2 goals in the first half. Emily Inman got one back for the U21s, but the decision was made assured by Emily Burke with a 3rd goal off of a corner kick. And after 90 minutes of play, the final score, Arlington 3 and the Arlington under-21s 1. Appreciate you joining us here, and a very happy Father's Day to all as we wrap things up here, saying so long and see you real soon. My name is Ben Curtis. Once again, your final score here from the nation's capital, Arlington 3